Hello people, this is the first video I have ever uploaded. You can tell that I'm not the video making type. But I have a very interesting opinion about how I think gang stalking works. But before I start, I just want to reiterate, this is my opinion only. I would call this video only for advancees mostly due to the nature of the content. I'll warn you right now, this is extremely sci-fi speculation, but I feel that, because not many other people have mentioned on how the gang stalkers know who you are, even if you don't carry a cell phone. Well, I think the reason is that we only use a small portion of our brain, and we already know that. Now, given the fact that we all watch television, some of us more than others, will depend on the level of ability we all have, whether we know it or, like most of us, not, we are all psychic. The reason I think is, because we, as human beings, are physically connected all the time. I believe that to a degree, we have been programmed not to see this side of our behavior. This is why, when you approach a stalker, perp, and confront them, most of the time they just look at you like you're crazy, and deny anything that would confess this accusation is 100% correct. This is also why people we think are very close to us participate in this madness. They really don't have a clue they are psychic, including myself. Now the reason I say we are all psychic is, I wonder how many of you have had your private time alone or with someone, recollected back by a complete stranger? I'm sure many. The only way this makes sense to me is because of this psychic connection. And it's real time. I'm suggesting that everyone's brain waves are unique and serialized. And once your serial number is flagged as targeted, a type of memo is broadcasted to say one individual, and then it mimics the slogan, "They'll tell two friends, and they'll tell two friends," and so on, and so on. Eventually everyone is watching for your brainwave. So no matter where you go, satellites can also pick up the signature, and wherever you are, you will be found. Now I hate to scare you, but this means that, if something goes sour in this country, they are coming for you first. I heard Julian McKinney, a former military expert on the electronic side of this, say that, if you make a U-turn, the vehicle stalking sometimes seems to stop. I tried this many times, and what I concluded is that this only works if nobody sees you turn around. So, if you're in a populated neighborhood and you try this but it doesn't work, it's because someone or something saw you turn around. They know what general direction you are heading in before you dropped off their radar, but when you don't surface after a period of time, they can't locate you. Keep in mind that, if there is an older lady peering out the window and you can't see her, they know you're turning around. If there are roofers, mailman, or anybody, they know where you are. Here's another feature. Animals also track us. The only animals I'm aware of for now are cats, dogs, but mostly packs of birds, and single birds also. If anyone has heard a strange bird sound they don't recognize from childhood, it's probably a real bird making the sounds you never heard before, because now you are a target. It's a notification that other animals and people hear, so, when you approach a new area, everyone will be ready for you. The reason I know this is just the other day, I was at a job walking to a soda machine. While walking, I felt a static sensation on my head. We can cover the static feeling some other time. The static feeling caused me to brush my hair. And, many targets already know the hand signals are used so covertly to pass the information to another perpetrator without the target noticing. One bird must have seen me do this, because I heard that weird bird sound, and instantly I know why I heard it. Shortly after this happened, I was driving home from work, and I felt the same static on my head again, so I brushed my hair again. All of a sudden I heard hundreds of birds, sitting on the power lines that see what I did, and began to broadcast the notification. I'm speculating, not this is the reason birds sometimes go to a certain location at a certain time, like rush hour, and all they do is scan everybody, until they come across a flagged individual. I know how this sounds, trust me, but I'm very observant this way. And when it happens every time I drive by during rush hour, it is no longer a fluke. This is one thing I can prove to anyone in the car with me easily, or I can videotape it, because I guess the birds are not aware that their cover can be blown. I guess this is where the term, bird's eye view, comes from. I don't think the birds are psychic, but they see these hand signals and pass the word by chirping like that weird sound I hear. I will get one audio recording so I can let you hear a sample. But they are sometimes different in different parts of the planet. If in your mind you suddenly think of an animal crossing in front of your vehicle, be careful, because momentarily, and sometimes seconds, a squirrel, cat, dog, or something with four legs will dodge in front of your vehicle. Usually there isn't enough time to stop, so pay attention. Anyway, if you want more information on this, try and find it, but also please tell me about it to ***. One more final word on why it seems to be so secret. It's because most of the stalkers I don't think actually even know they do it. The same way I give myself up to the birds. What scares me is sometimes, when I'm driving, there are as much as 15 to 20 cars involved, and this past October, 2 stalkers were racing, and they screwed up. The red pickup the stalker was driving slammed into my truck at 70 miles an hour, and needless to say, my truck is gone, and now I'm waiting for my lawsuit to end. Moving on, it is alleged by a YouTuber that the upper management of these stalkers have the ability to go into the future. This would explain how such elaborate harassment tactics could be achieved. You should drive smart. If a traffic light begins to change, don't try to get through, because they already know you're not going to, and you will block ugly stalkers. And I don't mean ugly, as in looks. In fact, many are the most beautiful of us humans imaginable, but rather ugly in the harassment of you being stuck. It's sci-fi enough about the future part, but it is plausible. I have seen so many staged incidents that even include a motorcycle without an accident, in a travel lane on the kickstand, with the hazards on, and also parked diagonally. Seriously, why couldn't it be pushed out of the lane to let the traffic through? He was standing next to his blinking flasher with his arms folded, like he was waiting for a taxi or something. Why not push it off the road? If you can't push it, you shouldn't be driving it. Here's another thing I have noticed: no matter how fast you turn your head to catch a stalker looking at you, they manage to look in another direction almost instantly. And if you're observant, you will make eye contact for a split second. This, I will suggest, is due to the psychic connection between them to you. They know when you will turn your head, when you know. Try staring right back at them, and you will see. So, if you're driving with someone and you are trying to show them all the bullcrap going on, all the stalkers will behave like the first day of school, and you will catch no one. You don't stand a chance. They are instructed to lightly harass, and not much more than that, I'm guessing, which is why, if you ask them about why they are stalking you, they either play stupid, or you might get a confession by one that might be saved when the ultimate judgment day comes for him. I know more about this crap, and I only became aware just after this past Thanksgiving. I think this is enough for my first video. If anyone has any questions about my theories, I will do my best to give you my opinion. And one final bit of information. Many of you will have no idea of how you became a target. I happen to respect the YouTuber by the name of Dutch since where a negative comment was posted on an official website that in retaliation, he and his subscribers are now deemed terrorists. This is no joke. Attempts were made to correct the problem, but from what I have gleaned so far, once you're a target for life. And if there is a way to change that, I will find it. There are thousands of individuals that are just now realizing this nightmare is true. Just remember, the closest person to you may be hurting you the most. Be aware that more than likely, they really don't have a clue they are causing you obstacles to overcome. In conclusion, I will do my best to provide you with the most accurate information possible, but I may not be 100% correct. The purpose of making this video is to make some sense as to how the stalkers tend to pull off this job of theirs. It is quite amazing. If our world leaders could have put the system in place for real terrorists or other criminals, this world would be a much better place. Continue your life, but just be more aware that these stupid stunts are meant to lightly harass you, but sometimes they screw up, like my truck accident. If I was in a small-sized truck, I would not have been able to make this video. Don't give up. It can be achieved. To the stalkers, more than 95% of these targets are innocent. You are being misdirected, and many innocent human beings are terrified to leave their homes. All I'm asking is, if someone could please try to verify with the target that there is some truth for their harassment, then fine. But I promise you, I'm being called a terrorist, and I have never terrorized anyone or anything in my life. I have never hurt anyone either. You all have the psychic link, which gives you a huge advantage. Better yet, since everyone is connected, may I suggest that perhaps there is a better way to audit the existing list of the targeted individuals so they can live without the nightmare that has taken over their lives. Since it appears that you are in our heads, you must also see that we are wrongfully accused. How come you can exploit our personal lives and skip over the truth at the same time? Maybe it only takes one person to begin this process, which could benefit all of us. If you listen harder, I always try to explain just how it is that I got to be on this list of people that are surveilled in the first place. Thank you for listening.